under your chairship. Now, I must know a different BBC from most MPs in this place today, because the BBC is a service that people are forced to pay for, even if they don't use it. It's not fair. And people can even go to prison for not paying the fine. And it's normally the people that do go to prison for not paying the fine are young, single mothers. And the BBC, as we all know, has been riddled with scandal for the past 100 years, but more so in the past few decades. And yes, I agree, the BBC has made some great programmes over the years, great documentaries, environmental programmes, etc. But they've also produced a whole raft of dodgy TV.
Anderson launches into a blistering attack on the BBC, calling it a service people are forced to pay for even if they don't use it. He claims people can even go to prison for not paying fines, often young single mothers. Anderson lists decades of scandals and names several controversial former BBC personalities, insisting that the broadcaster has been riddled with scandal for 100 years. He says MPs avoid mentioning these issues inside Parliament, but that the real world talks about it every day.
Personalities, which probably nobody will mention in this room. Well, I'll tell you what, they do mention it outside in the real world. Personalities such as Jimmy Savile, Hugh Edwards, Chris Denning, Jonathan King, Chris Langham, Stuart Hall, Rolf Harris, Philip Schofield, a whole raft of perverts that have stalked the corridors of the BBC. And none of these here will talk about this. Not one of them. And mark my words, Miss Harris, there are still these creatures stalking the corridors of the BBC, and in the future their names will come out and come back to this. Would you like to intervene? No, I thought not. Look at what they've done.
I'll have no chanting from a sedentary petition, please. Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Miss Harris. Look what they did to Cliff Richard. Filmed a raid on his house, an innocent man. Look what they did to Princess Diana. Look what they did to Donald Trump, our closest ally. Bob Villan on the stage.
The debate intensifies when Anderson is interrupted and challenged about his own earnings from a different channel. Tom Rutland asked him to declare exactly how much he earns in the media. Anderson fires back proudly, saying his declared income is £100,000 a year, and adds a jab that it's probably more than the honourable member will ever get paid for appearing on TV. He insists he hasn't paid the BBC licence fee for 10 years, and says he refuses to subsidise pensions of people like H. Edwards.
Deaf to the IDF. What about the Gaza documentaries? And what about the honourable member for Clacton? Dodgy reporting on his bank accounts. The list goes on and on, Miss Harris.
Would he give way?
I will give way on that point, yeah.
Tom Rutland.
Mentions bank accounts. Would he like to declare how much he has received in earnings from another broadcast media channel in the past year in his register of interests?
I'm quite happy to declare that. It's on my register of interests. It's £100,000 a year, and it's probably more than the honourable member will ever get paid for appearing on TV. That's if he gets paid anything at all. Anyway, I'm not paying my licence fee. I've not paid it for about 10 years. I'm not paying to subsidise the pensions of people like Hugh Edwards. Now, some people in this room, probably all of them, Miss Harris, may think I'm being a little bit unfair on the BBC. But I'd like anybody in this room, get on your phones right now and provide evidence of another broadcaster that has been riddled with as many scandals as the BBC. Besides, but I'll finish with this. I hope the Minister will agree with me and the vast majority of the British public that people should have a choice. It should be a subscription service, and then people can decide whether or not they watch it and whether or not they pay for it. Thank you, Ms Harris.
Anderson continues listing what he calls examples of BBC misconduct: the Cliff Richard raid, what they did to Princess Diana, coverage of Donald Trump, Gaza documentaries, and alleged bank account reporting on another MP. He challenges the room to name any broadcaster with as many scandals as the BBC. Anderson closes by demanding the government move to a subscription model so people can decide whether to watch or pay for the BBC.